What are some interesting or fun Christmas traditions you follow? On Christmas Eve my mom makes turkey noodle soup from scratch, using the deep frozen turkey leftovers from Thanksgiving to make the bone broth. We also open one present on Christmas Eve and it's always a new pair of PJs. On Christmas Day we have nut and poppy seed kolak, Slavic rolled sweetbread, while we open presents. I'm also advocating this year that we add post-presents Bloody Marys to the lineup since everyone in the household is 21 plus. One that I loved, which is unfortunately retired now, was getting together with our family friends some weekend in December to make an enormous batch of homemade sausage to last the whole next year. It was a pork and veal mix with real pork casings, and I miss those sausages every day because there just isn't anything in stores that compares. Breakfast for dinner on Christmas Eve with my father's side of the family. I was waiting for this question to be asked. So every year around Christmas my mom goes out and buys lots of plates. The first time she did it I was confused, but then she said we could color on them. I was so excited and I colored 4 plates. Then we bakes them so the paint stays on, then we wrap them and give them to our family members. Every year my wife and I have a knockdown drag-out argument and then grudgingly sit through Christmas morning trying to be nice while we wonder internally why we're still here, so at least I've got that to look forward to. Apples, oranges, and walnuts in our Christmas stocking. Something my great-grandparents did for my grandma during the Great Depression. My brother and I wrap each other's presents in increasingly difficult wrappings every year as a prank. Last year I used about 50 zip ties and he used a chain with a padlock. He had to search for a pair of scissors, which I hid, and I had to search for the key, which he hid. My mom started a group text a couple of years ago containing herself, me, my husband, my brother and his wife. My stepdad loves Charlie Brown holiday specials, but physically cannot sit still to watch TV without falling asleep. So whenever they put one on, my mom texts us all to place our bets. She starts the timer on her phone, and whoever is closest to how long it takes him to doze off gets a prize. Typically a Starbucks gift card for $5 to $10. It is my absolute favorite holiday/family tradition. ETA, the word. My family makes fruitcake the day after, American, Thanksgiving so that it's ready for Christmas Eve. I just poured the sherry on mine a week ago. Our weird tradition, especially important when we were all young adult children living at home, was that we needed to gather at the top of the stairs before walking down and be excited that Santa came. We would also get a few presents that were the same year to year, socks and a hairbrush for example, and we would loudly exclaim that we got it and it was all we ever wanted. We always went over the top in an absurd way of our expressions, which would make the rest of us laugh. It really made Christmas morning special. We have a Christmas tradition that everyone wears a shit shirt, the ugliest is the winner. Every year, we gather around the television and watch National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, Playful Face. I haven't seen my family since the winter of 2017 due to distance and the fact my car can't make the 13-hour trek home. For the past 2 years, my buddy has been taking me to his mom and stepdad's place for the holidays. I miss my family, but spending time with his, bonding and playing horseshoes is a tradition I've adapted and loved. It's a great surrogate, though I hope see my own family eventually. Hold your loved ones close this holiday season for your friend Matt from the internet. When my brother and I were growing up in the 1950s, we would write our letters to Santa Claus and then my dad would open the door to our coal furnace and throw them in. The smoke and ashes would find their way to the North Pole. Santa always seemed to know what we wanted, so we thought it worked. My family has game where during an ad break on TV you shout a number every time an ad that says the word Christmas is played, starting from 1 and working your way up when you get there first. When the movie or show comes back on, the person with the highest number is the winner. As we kids got older, my parents pulled out Trivial Pursuit, circa 1980, and you were required to answer a question before opening your next present. You then had the responsibility of asking the next question. really slowed down the pace of the present opening, which was the point, and ensured only one was being opened at a time. Jerking off while eating cookies. My kids like when we hide their presents and they go on a scavenger hunt. Our elf writes silly clues to their gifts. Each kid gets different clues and they have a blast trying to figure out the riddles. Helps make a poor family's Christmas more exciting. My whole family has pizza on Christmas Eve. The tradition started before I was born. We all get pizza from our favorite places, so there's pizza from 4 or 5 places at the house. It's a weird tradition, but I love it. We used to do this before we got a little old for it. My parents would do a little 12 days of Christmas stocking tradition, where we would get a present in them for 12 days until Christmas. They were nothing that fancy, like some nice toys that were fun to play with that you'd find in a dollar store or something like that. The only reason we stopped because we lost interest in those toys as my sister and I grew older. If I ever have kids though, I will definitely do the same thing because it was really fun. Every Christmas me and my brother try to make the largest tower out of our presents. I've literally never won. Freak out. Oh, my family just followed through with our tradition today actually. Okay, so my dad is an ornithologist, studies birds, so a long-standing family tradition has been to go on a Christmas bird count. This just consists of me, my brother, mom, and dad piling into the car at 8 AM about a week before Christmas to drive around my town and count birds. We keep a list of the number of each species we see/hear. People all over the country do this and then submit the data to the National Audubon Society to keep track of bird populations both regionally and nationally. The best part of this is that up until about the 5th grade I didn't realize this wasn't a thing everyone does lol. After Christmas break I went back to school and asked people what the highlight of their bird counts were. I still cringe over this lamau. My parent would hide a huge box of wrapped snacks and we would have to follow clues around the house to find it. Eating cabbage rolls to keep the devil away. My sperm donor was an abusive ass while married to my mom. Life has taken him down a peg or two, but he's still a male Karen. When she was sick of his shit and wanted a night away from him, she would make cabbage rolls, his least favorite food, because he couldn't even stand the smell and would sleep over at a friend's house. Since then, cabbage rolls have always been a side dish for our holiday feasts. My in-laws play the sock championship every year. Everyone gets a pack of socks for Christmas, essential, but instead of receiving the pack like a normal present, everybody's socks are individually wrapped and put in a box. Every person takes a turn in picking and opening a sock and either keeps their own or gives it to its rightful owner. First person to find all their pairs wins that year. Well, in Catalonia what brings presents is not Santa but El Tío de Nadal, the Christmas log. It's a log with a funny face and traditional Catalan shepherd clothing and a warm blanket covering half its body. We feed the log during December with things like orange peel or other fruits, and for Christmas we sing a song while hitting the log with staffs or canes. The song basically threatens the log to shit presents or otherwise we will continue to, literally, beat the shit out of it. After that the log is supposed to shit out our presents, so we lift the blanket and check. Obviously our parents place the presents there beforehand. Also, we add an extra figure to the nativity scene called El Cagana, the shitter. It's a guy dressed as a Catalan shepherd taking a dump between some bushes behind Mary and Joseph's house. I don't know what is it with us and shit-related Christmas. Mostly one family member chooses what to eat for dinner, and this year's is my turn to choose. I choose ham because that's my favorite thing to eat during the holidays. Smoked glazed ham. One thing my family does, which I'm fairly certain is unique to ours, is everything not meat-based left over from Christmas Day: potatoes, veg, stuffing, bread sauce, whatever you have, just throw it all in a big bowl, add a load of grated cheese and then fry it all up, with an optional fried egg on or side, or baked beans, or sausages. It's pretty versatile. It's great for not wasting any food, and it's cheap and easy for if you're a bit broke at the end of the week. We do call it pobs though, no idea why. Dumped Christmas, celebrating Yule. Pagans party harder. Christmas Eve meatloaf, which has a new theme every year. In recent years we've done the clover, we were in Ireland, a snowman, boobs, the stark dire wolf, a suckling pig with apple, and this year we are going to attempt Cousin Eddie from Christmas Vacation.